Hello friends, I am Dr. P.R. Karulkar. In my first video tube session, we have discussed the various types of contract. And in this second video session, we are going to discuss few more concept of Indian Contract Act. Let us start with the first concept, proposal or offer. Friends, you are all college guys, so you are familiar with the word propose. Propose का मतलब होता है सुझाव और प्रस्ताव. Section 2A defines the term proposal. When one person signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of that other to such act or abstinence, he is said to make a proposal. In simple sense, we will say proposal is an expression of desire to do or not to do something with the view to be accepted by others. Now यहाँ पे दो बातें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, willingness to do और second to abstain from doing anything. Willingness to do means कुछ करना और to abstain from doing anything means to keep away from doing anything, कुछ ना करना. यहाँ पे दो एग्जाम्पल के बेस पे हम लोग ये बात को एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. पहला एग्जाम्पल, मिस्टर ए सेज टू मिस्टर बी, विल यू परचेस माई हाउस फॉर रुपीज 10 लाख. दिस इज एन एक्सप्रेशन बाय ए टू बी टू डू समथिंग. कुछ करने के लिए कहता है. क्या कहता है? ए बी को कहता है कि मेरा घर आप 10 लाख में खरीदी करेंगे क्या? वेर एज इन सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल, मिस्टर ए सेज टू मिस्टर बी, विल यू स्टॉप ड्रॉइंग वाटर फ्रॉम माई वेल इफ आई विल पे यू रुपीज 1 लाख. सो दिस इज एन एग्जाम्पल एक्सप्लेन्स नॉट टू डू समथिंग. कुछ ना करने के लिए कहा है. ए ने बी को क्या कहा है? अपने कुएं का पानी निकालना बंद करो, मैं आपको 1 लाख रुपया दूंगा. सो दिस आर द एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ प्रपोजल. नेक्स्ट इज एक्सेप्टेंस. Acceptance is defined under section 2B. When the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, then we can say the proposal is accepted. Acceptance of proposal is nothing but promise. Now continue with the same example. Mr. A proposed to sell his house to Mr. B. Mr. B here accepts A's offer and ready to purchase the house. That is nothing but the acceptance. A ने B को घर खरीदी करने के लिए, सेल करने के लिए जो प्रपोजल रखा है और बी वो ए के प्रपोजल को एक्सेप्ट करता है. सो दैट इज़ नथिंग बट द acceptance. Now, in this there are two parties. Basically in the contract there are two parties. One is a promisor and another one is promisee. Promisor is a person who puts the proposal, and the promisee is a person to whom the proposal is given. So there are two parties important in the contract. Now third concept, counter proposal. If there is a rejection of original proposal and making a new one, that is called counter proposal. It's very easy. When there is a rejection of proposal, original proposal, and making a new one, that is called counter proposal. Now continue with the same example. If A offers to sell his house to B for rupees 10 lakh, but B writes A that he is ready to purchase the house for rupees 8 lakhs. A बी को 10 लाख रुपए में घर बेचने का ऑफर करता है, लेकिन बी ए को लिख के क्या कहता है? नहीं, मैं आपका घर 8 लाख रुपए में खरीदी करना चाहता हूँ. सो वेन एवर दिस इज द ऑफर मेड बाय बी and by rejecting original offer and making a new one, so this is nothing but counter proposal. Next is consideration. Consideration is very important elements of essential of valid contract, because if there is no consideration, no contract. जहाँ पे consideration नहीं है उसको contract हम नहीं कह सकते, because it is one of the essential elements of valid contract. In simple meaning we'll say consideration means समथिंग इन रिटर्न. कुछ तो भी लेन देन. दोनों पार्टी जब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में आते हैं तो दोनों पार्टी को कुछ ना कुछ भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट से मिलना चाहिए. आइदर मे बी इन कैश और मे बी इन काइंड. वो काइंड में रहेगा, नहीं तो कैश में रहेगा. और दोनों पार्टी ने एक दूसरे के लिए कुछ करना चाहिए. बोथ हैव टू डू सर्टन ऑब्लिगेशंस. दे हैव टू परफॉर्म सर्टन ऑब्लिगेशंस, एंड दैट इज लीगल ऑब्लिगेशंस. नाउ इन कंसिडरेशन, it moves at the desire of the promisor. So whenever at the desire of the promisor and the promisor or any other person has done or abstain from doing or does or abstain from doing or promises to do or abstain from doing something, such act or abstinence or promise is called a consideration. Forget this all the legal that words, and we'll take one example and explain this concept more easily to you. There are two parties, A and B, and A agrees to sell a car to B. In exchange of that, B gives 5 lakh rupees to A. So B receives the car from A. So car, it's a consideration for B. And in exchange of that, A receives 5 lakh rupees from B. So 5 lakh rupees is a consideration for A. So both the parties here are giving and taking something in return. So that is called consideration. Next, capacity to contract. This is also one of the important concept or important elements of valid contract. Capacity of contract means competent to contract. The person or the parties who enter into a contract must be competent, must be capable to perform the contractual obligations. Now there are certain conditions to discuss about this capacity to contract. Very first condition is age of majority, or that is 18 years, as per the Indian Majority Act 1875. The person or the party who enters into a contract should be at the age of major. He should not be a minor person. If the agreement done by the minor, it is not valid, it is ab initio in the eyes of law. There is no agreement in the eyes of law if that agreement is done by minor. But there are certain exceptions. But that exceptions are in the Indian Partnership Act that we'll discuss in the next YouTube session. Next is sound mind. The person who enters into a contract should be a sound mind person. He should not be an unsound mind person. Sound mind person means the person who is able to understand the terms and agreement of the contract, terms and conditions of the contract, rules and regulations of the contract. Or the person who enters in the contract should able to take a rational judgment, a rational decision. Then that person is able to compete or able to perform the contractual obligations. And the third thing is the person who is not qualified in the eyes of law, then that person is also not eligible to enter into a contract. So there are three conditions. One is age of majority. Second, sound mind person, means unsound mind person cannot enter into a contract. And third is not disqualified from contracting by any law to which he is subject. So एखादा व्यक्ति जो व्यक्ति स्मगलिंग करता होगा, जो लॉ की एंगल से ऑफेंसर है, कुछ उसने क्रिमिनल उसके क्रिमिनल एक्शंस उसके अगेंस्ट है, so that person is not competent to enter into a contract. Next is consent. This is also important concept in the Indian Contract Act. Consent is defined under section 13. Whenever both the parties in the contract, they are agreed upon the same thing with the same sense, then we can say they are at consent. दोनों पार्टी एक ही बात के ऊपर एक एंगल से चर्चा कर रहे, एक सेंस से चर्चा कर रहे, then we can say they are at consent. But mere consent is not enough to say agreement is a valid contract. The consent must be free consent, and the definition of free consent is explained under section 14. When this consent is not caused by undue influence, coercion, fraud, misrepresentation, mistake, then we can say that is free consent. And if the consent is caused with all this, then that consent is not free consent. All this concept, undue influence, coercion, fraud, misrepresentation, mistake, will also learn in the next YouTube session. Next is contract of indemnity. To indemnify means to compensate, okay, to save the other person from losses. So under section 124, It is a contract by which one party promises to save the other from loss by conduct of the promisor or by the conduct of any other person. Here we have the best example of contract of insurance, but other than life insurance chhod ke. Here two parties are in the contract. One is indemnifier and another is indemnity holder. Indemnifier is a person promises to make the good the loss, and indemnity holder is a person whose loss is to be made good. ऐसे दो पार्टी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ इंडेमनिटी में है. नेक्स्ट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ गारंटी. Contract of guarantee is defined under section 126. It is nothing but promise or discharge a liability of third person in case of his default. It's a contract to perform the promise or discharge the liability of a third person in case of his default. There are three parties in this contract of guarantee. One is surety, second principal debtor, and third creditor. There is a first contract between principal debtor and creditor. If the principal debtor fails to pay or is in default to pay the amount to the creditor, then surety is the person who gives the guarantee to the creditor on behalf of the principal debtor regarding the liability. So surety is also important person in this contract. So contract of guarantee means nothing but it's a contract to perform the promise or discharge the liability of third person in case of his default. So principal debtor is a primary liable here and surety is a secondary liable here. If the principal debtor fails to pay, then liability of the surety arises. Next is bailment under section 148. It's also very simple concept or very interesting contract. It is nothing but delivery of the goods by one person to another for some purpose. कोई स्पेसिफिक पर्पस के लिए गुड्स की डिलीवरी की जाती है और वो पर्पस ख़त्म होने के बाद आफ्टर अकम्प्लिशिंग दैट पर्पस और ऑब्जेक्ट दैट गुड्स आर रिटर्न टू द ओरिजिनल ओनर ऑफ द गुड्स और इट इज़ डिस्पोज ऑफ अकॉर्डिंग टू डायरेक्शन ऑफ द पर्सन डिलीवरिंग दैम. यहाँ पे एक बहुत ईजीएस्ट एग्जाम्पल हम लोग देखते हैं, ईजी एग्जाम्पल हम लोग देखते हैं. डिलीवरी ऑफ गोल्ड टू गोल्ड स्मिथ फॉर मेकिंग एन ऑर्नामेंट्स. जब हम लोग गोल्ड स्मिथ के लिए कुछ गोल्ड देते कुछ ऑर्नामेंट्स बनाने के लिए और आफ्टर फिनिशिंग दैट ऑर्नामेंट वर्क गोल्ड स्मिथ अपने को जो गोल्ड है वो वापस देता है. इवन वी आर गिविंग पीस ऑफ क्लॉथ फॉर स्टिचिंग शर्ट एंड ट्राउज़र to the tailor. So that is also one of the example of bailment. After stitching a shirt, that tailor will return you that cloth, cloth to the that particular person. There are two parties in this contract of bailment. One is bailer and another one is bailee. Bailer, the person delivering the goods, that he is called bailer, and the person to whom the goods are delivered is called bailee. So this is the contract of bailment. Last is pawn or pledge. This is defined under section 172 of the Indian Contract Act. It is also means contract of pawn or contract of pledge is also one of the kind of contract of bailment. Only the difference is this: in contract of pledge or in contract of pawn, the delivery of the goods is made for security, for money borrowed, as a security for money borrowed. And in the contract of bailment, the goods are delivered for specific purpose, and after achieving that purpose, goods are delivered to the original owner of the goods. In a case of pawner, there are two parties. One is pawner, another one is pawnee. Pawner is nothing but he is no one else but as a bailer. He is performing the role as a bailer, what he performs in the contract of bailment. And pawnee is a person as a bailee, what as the bailee performs the role in the contract of bailment. So these are the two parties in the contract of pledge. One thing you keep this in mind, contract of bailment and contract of sale, there is a difference between the contract of bailment and contract of sale. In contract of sale, there is transfer of ownership of goods from the one person to another person, and in case of contract of bailment, there is only possession of goods is delivered or transferred from one person to another person. So this is a slight difference between contact of Bellman and contact of cell. So thank you very much, guys. We will explain a few more concepts in the third part of this YouTube lecture. Thank you very much.